I'm Buell Tagar. I'm the Deputy Commissioner over Engineering for Department of Water Management in Chicago. I'm here on behalf of our Acting Commissioner, Andrea Chang, to walk you through our department a little bit and also talk about some of the opportunities that are coming up for this year, 2021. Before I do that, I'd like to go through and spend a few minutes on what our department does. And I know some of you have seen this presentation, parts of this presentation before, but I figured there's always new faces, new attendees. So we'd like to go through what we do and how we do it, and then get into our main topic today. Obviously, our biggest resource is Lake Michigan. It's in our backyard right here. It's a precious resource. And just to talk about it a little bit, just to put in perspective, only about 2.5% of Earth's water is fresh water, which is the amount needed for our lives to survive. And Lake Michigan is the world's 5th largest freshwater lake. So we're blessed to have Lake Michigan in our backyard. It supplies water for our neighborhoods, businesses, recreation, and aquatic habitats. And again, you might have noticed this too. There's a lot of fluctuation with Lake Michigan levels itself, especially last year and this year, where we've hit some of the highs. You might have been on Lakeshore Drive, you might have been on the south side of the city, and you can see how it fluctuates throughout the years, mainly happening because of precipitation and changes due to evaporation and runoff. So it's dynamic. It changes all the time. So that's something we have to deal with every year. Going to the things that we do in our department, we just not only get the water to our customers on suburbs, we treat the water itself. We have a huge water quality section that does microbiology, chemistry, and microscopy, and also does the water treatment in our two plants. We also do system maintenance on our water distribution system, which would be on the water pumping side. We do maintenance in operation distribution, and we also do engineering on those parts, which is what a part of. Obviously, we have to have a working system at all times, 24/7, and it's not only maintenance and repairs that we do. We also have our programs to basically upgrade our water mains and sewers and facilities. Again, on that note, we have a combined sewer system, which is both rainwater and sewage combined. We're in charge of the operations and distribution of it, and also do the engineering part of that too, for replacements or rehabilitation of our system. The one thing that we don't do is wastewater treatment. What happens is through our sewer system, which is gravity fed, we take the wastewater and transmit it to Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago and the VRDGC, who treats the water for us. And again, to look at the big picture, we have a huge customer base. We serve the city of Chicago and also our suburbs, over 40 suburbs, over 120 municipalities. Our total population served is about 42% of the population of Illinois, which would be Chicago, and also about 2.5 million people in the suburbs, which would be about 5.3 million customers overall. Okay, so let's get a little bit closer, have a closer look at our system. For the water system, we have some major assets. We have 2 crib structures that are about 2 miles out in the lake. We have 2 of the largest water plants in the top 10 list in the world. Jardine Water Purification Plant on the bottom being number 1, and also Eugene Sawyer Purification Plant. I believe it's the 8th right now. So we got the 2 largest in the top 10. We have 12 pumping stations, 9 of them are electric and 3 are steam powered. We have no elevated storage, so we don't have any of those water tanks that you see in the suburbs. Everything's pumped on demand, meaning we have to adjust during winter, during summer months, during hot seasons, hot weeks. Everything's basically 24/7. The operation continues with people watching how things go, what the demands are, not only the city of Chicago, but the suburbs also. So we adjust on demand. We've got about 4,300 miles of water mains in the city that range from 6 inches to 12 feet in diameter. We've got 48,500 existing water valves and 490,000 water accounts. And just to dive a little bit into the sewer system, again, like I mentioned, it's a combined sewer system, which we transmit the waste and stormwater combined to MWRD. We're serving about 230 square miles of drainage area. We've got about 4,500 miles of sewers, anywhere from 8 inches to 12 and a half, 8 inches to 12 and a half feet in diameter. We have 350,000 structures, which are the manholes and the catch basins in the street. So having looked at our system, obviously it needs maintenance, it needs renovations. We have to upgrade our system. We have to put in new water mains and sewers and upgrade our facilities. So we have our 10-year program that we're working on right now. And the goals for that program is to replace 880 miles of water mains. We've completed about 760 miles of it so far. And to rehabilitate about 700 miles of our sewer system, which would be both reconstructing our sewers and upgrading the size, or if the capacity is there but the sewer is older, then we reline the sewer, the inside of it, so that we extend the life of about another 50 to 75 years. So we completed about 659 miles of that work, reconstruction of the lining of the sewers. And our goal is to line about 95,000 structures, the catch basins, manholes. So we completed about 88,000, over 88.5 so far. And on the facility sides, like we mentioned, the pumping stations, our goals are to basically convert our pumping stations from steam to electricity, because it does save a lot of money on maintenance too. We have two designed. We completed Springfield. One is under construction. That's Central Park, and Cermak is going to be next. And what this means is, if you look at the bottom of the page, all this means is it's great for our residents because we have fewer water main breaks, and that way, we're actually losing less water to waste, and also less shutoffs time for repairs too. And the less repairs that you have, the less time you spend on maintenance and shutoffs. On the basis of economy, it's good paying jobs to build a system. So we're employing a lot of people to get that work done. And so that's a strong foundation for city's future growth, because if you can appreciate this, if you got newer systems, if you can provide more water, clean, safe drinking water to more areas, more reliably, people will come to the city. And it's good for homeowners too on the sewer side, because once we upgrade our sewer system, they're going to experience fewer basement backups, less water on the streets. And for the water main side, we're going to have better water pressure all throughout the city. And obviously restoration too, because every time you go out and start digging streets to for maintenance or repairs of your water mains and sewers, you're basically breaking up the street and you're doing asphalt too. And so what we're doing is, in our 10-year program, we're actually coordinated with IDOT and CDOT and other utility companies, the third parties, ComEd and telecoms and People's Gas, to make sure that we get in the street once and for all. So we do our work, they do their work, and then CDOT pays, or we pay, or IDOT pays. So there's less disruption to the residents. Okay, so having talked about our department a little bit and what we do and how we do it, let's take a look at the projects that are coming up next. So it's great that we're keeping the same schedule that we mentioned in our last presentation too. So on the design consulting services, new design RFQs are coming out. We're hoping, again, second quarter of 2021. So it's going to happen we're hopeful that it's going to be in the street really quickly here. These will be new design RFQs to be put out. Approximately $5 million as a cap for 5 years to be put out as soon as we can. On the facility side for design, Western Avenue pumping station conversion, that's probably going to be a contract of about $10 million in value over 5 years. And again, we're hoping that we're going to get that out really quickly here soon. And our program management RFQ, we're still planning for 2021. We're looking at project management and construction management being separate, but we're hoping to get that out this year too, early this year. Moving ahead to our water mains and facilities improvement contracts. For upcoming, what we're planning to do is to get topographic survey contracts out there. So what happens is we will have consultants, surveyors, to be put under contract to be able to survey the areas that we'd like to do water main designs on. So that's the first step in water main design for us. we'd put out the surveys for topo, and then we get the information back, and then the design's done in-house. So those contracts will be out, and we're looking at maybe $4 million each for those contracts. So that's coming up really soon here. For Sawyer plant, we have two projects in mind: the low lift pumps, chemical building roof replacement, and roof repairs and replacement, and boiler improvements. For those construction projects, we're hoping to get those out probably late 2020 right now. But we're still shooting for end of 2020, late 2021 for those two projects. And Jardine plant, at Jardine plant, we have a sediment force main project that, again, just like Sawyer plant, that project we're hoping to put out the street towards the end of 2021. Now, for pumping station work, we listed 3 projects here: Cermak pumping station, standby generators, and switchgear. Lakeview pumping station, which we'll be doing electrical and control panel improvements, and also Western Avenue, which is a major project conversion from steam to electric. These are probably going to be later years, probably 2022, but we wanted to highlight those projects here so that at least you have an idea of when those are going to be coming up. We're in the early stages of these, but we're shooting for 2022 for these projects now. Going to the sewer side, our sewer improvement projects, we mainly use our IPA funds for these projects. And you might have seen this last time too, our geopolymer rehabilitation projects, which would be just sewer lining projects, but on a larger scale. So we are going to put out 3 contracts to line our large diameter sewers, which may not be able to do with conventional methods. So we're looking at maybe $30 to $40 million worth of total work on these 3 projects, which are very close to being put out on the street. As for new sewer construction, this would be the reconstruction of the sewers and upsizing the sewer main themselves. We still have $50 to $63 million worth of work to put out on the street. We're looking at 11 projects for bid in 2021 at various locations, which would be, break it down. So we have these projects to put out the second quarter of 2021. We're looking at, so we're in the second quarter right now, so May, June, hopefully, to put on the streets. So 78 and 76th Street sewer improvement projects, Pershing, Rogers and Greenview sewer improvement projects, 58th Street, Parnell, and 44th Place sewer improvement project. This is one project itself. It covers a few different areas, but if we go in as one package. Archer Avenue sewer improvement project, and also Parnell and Halstead sewer improvement projects. We're hoping for these to go out the door first. And then the next batch of projects coming up in 2021 would be Hegrish, Barron, Sheffield, Englewood and Greater Grand Crossing sewer improvement projects, London, Lakewood, Sacramento on 26th, and the 3 various locations we mentioned before, the large diameter sewer lining projects. Again, following the first batch, these are going to be going next. Okay, so I'd like to touch a little bit on the lead service line replacement program too. You might have seen this in 2021. We rolled out just a few programs for lead service line replacement. And again, just to put it in perspective, we have over 390,000 lead service lines to be replaced in the city. So this is just basically a start of these programs. The 2 programs we'd like to highlight today would be the 2021 Homeowner Initiated Lead Service Line Replacement Program. This is for homeowners that would like to hire their own contractors and remove the existing lead service line on their property. If they would like to go ahead and do this, the city is going to pay up to $3,100 in permit fees, and the city is going to connect a new service line to the water main, and at the tap location, install a free water meter to along with this project. So there's going to be some opportunities for water main contractors, more, I would say, plumbing contractors as this program rolls out and gets in full speed. The other program we'd like to talk about a little bit is the 2021 Equity Lead Service Line Replacement Program. So this will be free to the residents if this meets certain requirements. So it's going to be private and public side right now is what it looks like. But they would have to own and reside in their homes. The household income would be has to be below 80% of the median income for the area, and have had consistent lead concentrations of about 15 parts per billion in their water, as tested by DWM. So the anticipation here for this program is to do some put out some contracts and hoping that I know it's Q2 of 2021 also, maybe more like a term agreement contract type, so that as these locations pop up, work can be issued to the contractors. And again, main contractors and plumbing contractors would be interested in this program too. But just to summarize what we just talked about, the program itself probably going to be a $6 to $10 billion program over multiple decades to remove all these services. These are just some earlier phases, and then new programs are anticipated to come out and will be announced over time. And as always, we understand the importance of participation from our minorities, and annual procurement and compliance is always looking into different ways of how to introduce these in our contracts. We do have some opportunities on the water and sewer side, similar to how we do our projects with other departments too. Talking about water subcontracting, we just talked about the topo contract, so land survey opportunities, electrical, HVAC, materials testing. So these would be more for construction work, asphalt placement, trucking opportunities, landscaping, concrete placement, and pipe installation project. So we're going to have continue to have this kind of work in 2021 also. And on the sewer side, sewer construction itself and tunneling is a part of the work we're thinking about doing too. So cleaning, televising, materials testing again in the field, asphalt, trucking, landscaping, and concrete and catch basin work too. So these will be some of the areas where there's going to be opportunities for minority firms. And again, minimum of 26% for MBE, minimum of 6% for WBE, and also the newly recently introduced veterans-owned business. These are going to be dependent on the scope of the projects and a review of minorities in the area by compliance in our department, and putting those in a contract so that there's going to be opportunities as these projects are bid. And also, we're on social media at the bottom of the page. If you'd like to follow our news, our updates, our Facebook page is there. Obviously, we maintain our City of Chicago website under Department of Water Management. And then I'll turn it over to DPS folks to talk about their outreach and probably next steps and questions.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions for our guest speaker for today? If you have any questions, feel free to put it in the Q&A panel at the bottom right hand corner of your screen. If you do not see Q&A, feel free to click on the three dots, and then your panel will drop on your screen and put in your questions, because so far, Bulent, we do not have any questions, and that's surprising. You did a organized presentation with all questions answered during your presentation, that no one has a question at all, and that's hasn't happened often. So we will give a few minutes and see. We have one question. Thank you.
Sure. Go ahead. Yeah.
If you can read them, go ahead and read them. The first one is, are the stated 226/6 plus TBD for VBE goals for construction? And if so, is engineering 25/5, and will there be a VBE goals at all?
Yeah, that's a great question too. So those are mostly for construction. And we do look at engineering too. And I realize, yes, we've had used 25 and 5%. I would have to, I think we will have to talk to compliance about VBE for consultant contracts. I'm not sure what it buys in that case, but maybe we'll take that as a question and try to get back to
Okay.
Dave after the, right.
Okay, so if you would I send me privately the full question that you would like answered, the person that sent this question, and I will get it over to our guests, and we will get back with you with an answer. Is
Right.
there any new goals that the Department of Water Management is looking to achieve with the new Western Avenue PS upgrade?
Hey, Brian. So I believe this is also referring to the goals of 25.5 or 26, correct? If that's the case, I think that's being looked at right now. That's something that we're looking at between us and compliance. So I don't think we have the numbers yet.
Okay, is the second quarter sewer design contract listed in the 2021 buying plan, or was it a carryover? Do you know that? If not, we can get Rodney to look that up and to give the answer to that.
Yeah, it might be better to look at yeah, I agree.
Okay. And the last one on the Q&A side is sustainability going to be a larger driver for the Department of Water Management with upcoming capital projects?
Great question. Thanks, Brian. So yeah, absolutely. We're always looking at sustainability for our projects too. And right now we're working on our sewer WPA Street projects where we actually used permeable asphalt for our projects. We're doing bioswales, and basically giving a shot to see how this is going to work. Obviously, it's a tough project, right? Because it needs maintenance and it also needs support from the residents too, because we're going to be planting these special plants, thirsty plants as they call it, to make sure that it's maintained correctly. So on the street, even on the streets, so we're doing all that work. So we also are working with MWRD and CPS for Space to Grow, which is a great program where the City of Chicago, MWRD, and public schools is putting in funds to replace some of the asphalt playgrounds in the schools with permeable surfaces and storing water on site or releasing slowly, and making sure that we have all those the gardens that the kids can play and also keep more stormwater on site. That's a ongoing project with those parties. And every time we're looking at our pumping station projects, we're looking at green elements. We're looking at solar panels. So definitely, we're trying to look into any kind of sustainability that we can introduce in our projects. We're doing it. And it looks like there's one more question. Are there currently any bidding opportunities for plumbing contractors as far as lead service line replacements go? Those are the programs that I touched on a little bit. So currently, as of this today, right now, no, but we're hoping to put out those contracts out soon this year, 2021. So you might want to sign up for the DPS alerts as they come out. But to answer your question, right this minute, no. But it's coming up very, very shortly. There's one more question. Part two of the sewer design contract. Yeah, sure.
There are actually a few more, but go ahead and take that one, and I'll give you the
Sure.
ones that Rodney has sent me over that they sent privately. I just didn't want you
Got
to
it.
stop. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Will the sewer design contract be intended for a single recipient or for multiple design teams? I think that goes back to the work plan. Let me take a quick look at it so we can answer both parts of your questions. I would say, but usually what we do is for sewer design. So let me talk about that a little bit too. when we put out sewer design contracts, we do have multiple consultants selected. The reason for that is we're trying to put out more work out to consultants, and also we usually do it on a task order basis where we go through an RFQ, we put the RFQ out, and then it's target market and non-target market usually, but we do pick multiple vendors so that we can distribute the work and also make sure that we're looking at all obviously qualifications to make those picks, but then we pick the pool of task order consultants and issue contracts to them, and then as projects come up, then we do separate task orders to these consultants. So I hope that answers the question, but if not, we should be able to answer through the Q&A afterwards. Okay, another question. How is the mayor's initiative Invest Southwest impacting or guiding DWM's planning strategies and projects? That's a great question too. So for those of you who may not be aware of this plan, Mayor Lightfoot is investing along with private to bring projects. It could be underground, it could be CDOT, it could be any third-party projects, building projects too, to introduce more investments in the south and west regions of the city. So we are a part of that initiative too. We do have meetings at Mayor's office and all the parties involved with this program to go around the room, look at our planning, and make sure that we're attacking these 100-year-old water mains or older sewers in the area, to make sure that we're in and out of the area, so that once CDOT comes in, or private parties and third parties come in to resurface the streets or build new buildings to get tenants in, we want to ensure that we have service there in terms of water and sewer, adequate water service, and also maybe if you have to put in new sewers, to ensure that there's no issues. And basically our goal is to get in and get out. So we are closely following the areas that this is targeting. We get the updates, and usually our work is not beautiful, as you can imagine, because no one's really going to see it once it's done. But we are there to ensure that we give a great service to residents of Chicago in that area with safe water, and also being able to get the sewage out of the area.
I'm trying to flip back and forth, so I apologize if you already answered this question, but one question came in. Are there currently any lead service line replacement bids open to plumbing contractors?
Yeah, we did talk about that a little bit. Yes, we did. Right.
Okay. And the second one is several contractors have been teaming with Hire 360 to help meet their contracting requirements. Has there been any discussion about finding ways that professional service consultants can use these types of resources to meet their requirements?
I myself am not very familiar with Hire 360. Yes, I know what it is, but I may have to take that question back internally and discuss with our contracts people and get back to you folks.
Okay, and Dave was wanting to know the email for clarification. Dave, for that question that we said, send it to us and we would get Bulent to answer for you. You can send to dps.events at cityofchicago.org. And the last one I have says, when will the city release the current projects won from the water department? I guess they're talking about awarded contracts.
Can you repeat the question, please?
It was, when will the city release the current projects won from the water department?
I may have to take that question to look at which ones, but yeah, I'll take that question.
Okay. So if you send that to DPS events as well, because you have a little time to make sure that the question is fully addressed out. Any of you that have questions, and we'll say that we're taking them back to get them answered. If you can be as specific as you need to be for that question, and type it out so that we can make sure that the person is answering your question fully for you. You can send it to dps.events at cityofchicago.org. Let's see. Has there been any historic lead abatement that you know of?
Lead abatement. So that would be more a question for Department of Buildings or Department of Health. We as DWM do not do lead abate. Let me take that back. If the question is regarding if there's going to be any lead abatement work to be done in our facilities, if there is, that would be put out in as we are doing the design for our pumping stations, let's say, or purification stations, purification plants. If there's going to be work that's going to be put on the street, we would be looking at if there's any lead abatement that needs to be done in our facilities and put that out as a part of the contract. So it kind of depends on the work that we're doing and which part of the pumping station or the plant we're working on. But if there is, then there would be provisions for lead abatement. Hopefully that answers the question.
For technology needs at pumping station of network centers, are there services or design consulting ops being bid directly by the water department or through different channels or network centers or offices?
So if there's going to be some improvements to be done as part of our contract work, so we would put that in our contracts. But there could be standalone contracts that term agreement contracts that take care of this. But I would have to take that question and we'll have to respond separately because the deputy over that work, I would have to talk to them and get the response back.
Okay. And I think that is all of the questions that we have. So
Great.
those of you that the few questions that we had that we have to take back and get the exact information for, if you would send it to Jackie Umbles at, the email address is dps.events@cityofchicago.org. If you would send it there, we will definitely get your questions answered and get back with you on those. I was just trying to see before we ended our session today whether or not we had any further questions here, and I think we covered them all. So with that said, I want to thank you, Mr. Agar, for joining us today and giving us that great information. I also want to thank the participants for sharing some of their day with us to find out this great information about the first look into the water department. Hopefully you all got information you can use and you can start bidding on some of their projects. Again, if you need to know what those projects are, this PowerPoint will be put up online so you can review that. You can review the recording. You can also go to the buying plan and get information from the buying plan. And then last but not least, you can go to their website and to their procurement links into their website, and you can drill down and figure out what more information that you can gather from the specifics in that particular bid. But with that said, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I say stay safe, stay well, wash your hands, social distance, wear your mask, and we can no longer say when it's your turn, get your vaccine, because it's everybody's turn now. So hopefully everyone has gotten their vaccine, and hopefully as soon as we can, we'll be back into City Hall and doing these presentations there. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.